Okay, up to this point, we have discussion on counting the number of steps in algorithms and how we are going to find the complexities in a very simple terms. Now, this is the one way, and this is a very naive method. In fact, we are going to use this particular method in some of the problems. And apart from this particular method, there is another kind of method that is frequently used, that is what we call as the operation counts. Okay, so what is the operation count in an algorithms? So still now what we were doing, we were assigning a unit cost to individual steps or some kind of statements, or we are following some kind of rules. If we have some initialization kind of statement, then we are just assigning a zero cost there. But that particular initialization, if we have done a declaration as well as initialization, then we are going to put one cost there. But if we have just declared the statement, we have just given a zero cost there. But now what we are saying, rather than doing like this, what we can do, we are going to calculate what are the different kind of operations in my algorithms. Rather than assigning these units, what we are going to assign, we are going to assign some constant value, or that constant value, let me call that particular constant value as the c, and that c is just a representation. Just c. Yes, better mute yourself.
आपकी सर ऑडियो बीच बीच में स्लो हो जाती है सर, और थोड़ा डिस्टर्बेंस भी आ रहा है सर।
Okay, now check. One moment.
यस सर, नाउ इट्स ओके सर।
So now what we are doing now, we just try to, rather than assigning this one or zero cost, what we are assigning now, we are just going to assign some cost, that is, let me call that particular cost as the C cost, C1, C2, like this. So I am going to assign these cost, and then we are going to calculate how much, how the type of frequency corresponding to that particular statement or declaration. So that is what we call as the operation count in algorithms. That is a second way to analyze, and it is more generic way in order to analyze the algorithm. So what is the idea? The idea is to count the number of operations instead of the steps. So here we are going to count the number of operations. So what are operations? Now operations can be further being divided into the two categories. One we call as the elementary operations, and one we call as a non-elementary, that is the non-basic operations. What are elementary operations? Such kind of operations, that is kind of assignment operators, comparison operations, arithmetic operations, logical kind of things, logical operations. So all these fall under the category of elementary operations or elementary basic primitive operations, very very basic operations, right? So non-basic operation, that is non-elementary operations, such as which are non-atomic operations, which involve the many elementary operations including sorting, finding max, mean. So wherever we are going to have this particular kind of functions uses, there what we call as these are the non-elementary or non-basic operations. Like we are going to find want to sort some kind of array, so definitely we need to have some kind of function, or we want to find the maximum, the minimum out of an array, then definitely we are going to go with a particular kind of function. So more or less, whenever we talk about the non-basic, non-elementary, that is something which we called as we are dealing with the functions type of thing. Okay, so two categorization as of now we have done. One is the elementary and one is the non-elementary. So how we are doing the things now? Finding the operation count. So there are some basic rules that we have followed in the previous also, that is step counts. Now the basic rules for the operation counts are addition principle. What addition principle is saying? We have some algorithm. How we are going to write the algorithm? Begin and end, and inside the begin and end we have these logic S1, S2, whatever the kind of logic we want to put. So here we have done some kind of logic here. Okay, one moment. So let's see this one. These rules. These are some of the rules we have. So this is the some algorithm begin and end. We have some operations here S1 and S2. So let us suppose that this particular statement S1 requires M operation and S2 requires N operation. Then in total, how many operations we have? So this is what we call an addition principle. That is M plus 1. This is thing. This thing is clear. Yes. Yes,
Yes
everybody.
sir, लेकिन एक
Okay.
small M होना चाहिए था ना sir.
Oh, take it small m. Why you are okay? Do it. It doesn't. It is not a kind of concrete mathematics. You can do it. Then we have the selection principle. What is the selection principle? It says that if we have some condition, then some statement P, else the statement Q. Let us suppose that this particular P requires the M operation, then Q requires the N operation. Then this particular statement, if then else statements will require the maximum of these M on N operations. Okay, this is again one what we call it the selection principle. So, and this is what operation counts in case of the repetition, the multiplication principle. So that is we call it the loop. So inside the loop, how we are going to count? So if repetition executes a task n times, and if the task requires m operation, then in total we have n cross m operations. Okay, are you following this? Very basic rules. Yes. Yes. Shall we move?
Yes sir.
Now see this particular algorithm. Now we have this algorithm of swapping the two numbers. So we have this begin and end. So it means that is this an algorithm. Here we have yes beta.
सर एक बार मल्टीप्लिकेशन वाला फिर से बता दीजिए, रिपीटिशन एंड मल्टीप्लिकेशन वाला।
This one. For
सर
I will take the example also. Anyways, if there is a repetition, meaning there is a form kind of for loop. Okay. Execute a task n times, and the task requires some operation. So for this particular loop, it is going to be executed for n times. And this what is the task? This task is for example, what are the task we are doing inside this particular loop? It is being executed m times. So in total, we have n cross m. Okay.
यस सर, ओके सर।
So now this is a simple swap algorithm. We have some logic for swapping the two numbers. So how we are going to count the cost? See, initially if you would have been counting it using the step count, then we are going to assign a unit cost like this. Yes? Yes or no?
यस सर, यस सर।
Remember that, and here is the frequency that we call the repetition frequency, and these are the Unicode. So rather than assigning 111, what we are saying, why don't you assign a constant, meaning some kind of cost, not necessary that is a unit cost, because maybe that system to system it will depend that how much cost in terms of the memory it will take. So rather than fixing yourself as a unit cost, why don't you assign it as some constant cost? Let us call that particular constant cost as C1, C2, and C3 like this. So I think it would be a better idea rather than assigning 111. Yes or no? So for this particular statement, temp equals to, this is another kind of assignment statement. So we are assuming that the total cost that is being involved in assigning this particular statement temp equals to A, the computer is going to take, or it is going to consume, or it is going to spend a kind of cost that we call as the C1. For this particular we call it a C2, for this we call it a C3, and we observed that there is no repetition. So okay, there is no repetition, it means that it is only single time it is being repeated. So it means that total cost is C1 for this, C2 for this, and C3 for this, and this is the end statement, so we are not going to mark anything. So in total, how much cost we have? This is C1 plus T, C2 plus C3. Okay, so if you will observe that again this is turns out to be some constant only. Okay, because all these are the constants. So maybe this constant is C1 may be higher than the C2, maybe it is higher than C3. It is just an assumption, or maybe C2 is greater than C1, like anything. So, but anyways, these are the constants, so it becomes a constant only. So this is a constant time algorithm. The constant times are the kind of machine dependent algorithms. Okay, so this is what. So more or less the things are same, only some rules we have now incorporated. Rather than writing the 1 1, now we are assuming it as a unit cost. Okay, shall we move now? Yes beta. ये हाँ ना बोलते रहा करो. Okay. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so second way again, we have this algorithm. Now see the example of this kind of repetition. We have some algorithm begin and end, and we have some kind of logic here at this particular point. So we want to find the operation count in this. So for this particular, what we are going to observe, this is one assignment statement is there. Okay, we have assignment. Now we have this particular testing condition as well as, and now we have the increment operation as well. So for this particular statement number 2, we are assuming that the total cost associated is the C1. For this particular, we are associated cost is C2. How many times this particular for loop is going to repeated? This is for n plus 1. How many times this particular statement number 3 will be executed? If it is executed n plus 1 time, it will be executed for the n time. So in total, the total cost will be C into n plus 1, and this is C2 into n. So in total, we have the total cost will be this plus this, and this turns out to be this particular Cn. So now this is, no, this is not a constant time algorithm. This is wrong. This is not a constant time. In fact, this is dependent on n. Okay, this is wrong. So this is the total cost that is Cn. So are you getting the idea how we are going to calculate the operation cost? Yes,
सर ये कांस्टेंट क्यों नहीं है?
because that is dependent on this particular n factor, no?
Okay.
If it
सर
turns if it turns out totally we
प्लस
हाँ
सर ये n+1 रिपीटेशन कैसे लिए इधर?
क्या लेगा?
k equals to 1 to n के लिए n+1 कैसे लिए इधर?
टेस्टिंग कंडीशन नहीं लगी क्या इसमें? एक बार जब लास्ट में फॉर लूप पढ़ो, दोबारा से रिवाइज करो. फॉर लूप जो i इक्वल्स टू 1 से या 0 से जहां से भी चलता है, i इज लेस देन i प्लस प्लस, तो एक बार ये टेस्टिंग कंडीशन करता है और वन टाइम जो है एक बार जो है एक्स्ट्रा 1 लेता है टेस्टिंग कंडीशन के लिए, इस पर्टिकुलर टेस्टिंग कंडीशन के लिए. तो एक बार रिपीट एक 1 मोर टाइम रिपीट नहीं होता ये n+1 टाइम्स के लिए.
ओके सर.
ये अभी ये फॉर लूपिंग का ये कंसेप्ट क्लियर नहीं है आप लोगों को? वन टाइम यहाँ पे ये टेस्टिंग दोबारा से करेगा तो एक बार जब भी तो ये टेस्ट फॉल्स होगा तभी तो एग्जीक्यूट करेगा. अगर पिछली स्टेप में ही अगर ये इसको चेक कर लिया होता है इसने तो दोबारा आने की जरूरत ही नहीं थी. इसको एक बार दोबारा चेक करके फिर एक एक्स्ट्रा टाइम तो बताता है कि अब अंदर नहीं जाना है मुझे. Okay, so this is what so this is now you are maybe you will be observing, okay, this is a very simple, we can easily calculate no for these but any kind of type of algorithm. But if you are observing that this is a very naive examples, these are very small examples. So when the algorithms will be large, then you must take care about all these rules and how we are going to calculate the cost. So there makes a little bit difficulty. So that when you are going to practice more example, then you will find kind of different complexities, and we will have a lot of examples to practice. We will do it, but these are some kind of rules that we need to be incorporated when we are going to find the actual costs. Okay, and we also do some kind of mathematical analysis as well. Yes beta.
सर जो टाइम होता है वो k टर्म्स में मेजर करते हैं क्या?
क्या मेजर करते हैं?
कॉस्ट टाइम जो होता है हमारा.
फॉल्स टाइम दोबारा बोलो.
सर जो कॉस्ट टाइम होता है वो हम k टर्म्स में मेजर करते हैं.
कौन सा टाइम होता है?
सर कॉस्ट टाइम COT.
क्लॉक टाइम. क्लॉक टाइम
तो कॉस्ट टाइम बोल रहा है, COST कॉस्ट.
नहीं, यहाँ पे उस CPU क्लॉक साइकिल की बात नहीं हो रही है हमारी कि कितना उसमें, ये हमारा एक जनरलाइज्ड कॉस्ट की बात कर रहा हूँ. अभी मुझे यहाँ पे जो है ये कॉस्ट जो मुझे दी गई है, आई डज नॉट केयर वेदर दिस पर्टिकुलर इज इन कॉस्ट इन टर्म्स ऑफ द मेमोरी और इज इन टर्म्स ऑफ द टाइम, बिकॉज हमारे पास दो फैक्टर है, या तो टाइम के बारे में बात करेंगे या मेमोरीज के बारे में बात करेंगे हम. तो ये हमारी एक जो है जनरल कॉस्ट हम मान के चल रहे हैं। जिस भी एसोसिएशन में अगर हम इसको देखेंगे टाइम के टर्म्स में देखने हैं तो एक जनरलाइज तरीका है मेरा, ठीक है। इतना तो एटलीस्ट अगर मैं इसको सेकंड्स में देखना चाहूं या आवर्स में देखना चाहूं तो इतने क्लॉक साइकिल, इतना तो मुझे टाइम लगभग लगभग लगेगा ही। वो मेरी प्रॉब्लम पे डिपेंडेंसी होगी उस चीज की। तो इतना अगर मैं मेमोरी के टर्म्स में देखूं इस चीज को तो ये एन एन जैसे जैसे बढ़ेगा तो ये मेरी जो कॉस्ट आ रही है इंक्रीज हो रही है। सो व्हाट डज इट मीन बाय कॉस्ट इंक्रीज हो रही है? इट मींस दैट स्पेस की रिक्वायरमेंट मुझे ज्यादा होती जा रही है, ज्यादा होती जा रही है। अगर जैसे जैसे मेरा एन बढ़ रहा है वैसे वैसे मुझे टाइम जो है मेरा जो है बहुत ज्यादा ले रहा है कोई एल्गोरिथम, बहुत ज्यादा एल्गोरिथम। तो कौन सा टाइम ले रहा है? ऑब्वियसली जो कैलकुलेशंस का टाइम है। और कैलकुलेशंस का कौन सा टाइम? जो मेरी सीपीयू का जो क्लॉक साइकिल है वो पर सेकंड मेरा जो है कितने एग्जीक्यूशन कर रहा है, वो यहाँ पे वो टोटल नंबर ऑफ एग्जीक्यूशन जो है मेरे ज्यादा टाइम ले रहे हैं यहाँ पे। इसका ये मतलब है। तो अभी हमने स्पेसिफिकली नहीं किया है कि ये कॉस्ट हम जो है यहाँ पे एसोसिएट कर रहे हैं टाइम के लिए या मेमोरी के लिए। अभी जो है हम केवल इस एग्जांपल्स में हम मान के चल रहे हैं ओके, हम यहाँ पे जो है केवल अगर टाइम की बात करते हैं तो ठीक है, उस कंसर्न में हम जो टाइम लेंगे। अगर हम ये एनालिसिस मेमोरीज के लिए करना पड़ जाए तो उस कंसर्न में हम स्पेस को एज कॉस्ट मानेंगे। ओके
ओके सर।
हाँ, तो सी दिस नाउ देयर आर सम यूजफुल, ये आप लोगों को पता है, ये बताने की बात नहीं है, सब यूजफुल कुछ जो है फॉर्मूलेज है, और भी बहुत सारे फॉर्मूलेज है यू रिमेंबर थ्रू द मैथमेटिक्स। तो ये सब जो है आपकी कहीं ना कहीं ये फॉर्मूलेज यूज होंगे। कहाँ यूज होंगे? वी विल हैव द एग्जांपल्स कि कहाँ पे हम यूज करने वाले हैं इन ऑर्डर टू फाइंड द कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज। Now try this particular example. For some algorithm, we have this particular time dependency as, or this particular formula is sigma of 6 I plus 1, where I is from 1 to n. Then you have to prove that the above is equivalent to this particular time. Okay. Otherwise, leave it. Leave it. This is not in concern with this. Okay, leave it. Okay. Now. Again, the same example, just for practice. See this, we have some algorithm, and the main part of this algorithm actually start from this particular line number 2 and it ends at line number 9, this particular 8. So can you calculate the total cost for this? Yes?
Yeah.
One cost for this, n plus 1 for this. For the statement, it will be executed n times, and one cost for this. Total cost will be? Okay? 2n plus 3.
Yes,
So
sir.
is it a constant algorithm? Yes?
No, sir.
No. It is not a constant algorithm. It is dependency upon the time. Now see this. Again, we have already discussed such kind of examples. So we have this particular main algorithm is this one. Otherwise, all these are the begin and end. This is begin and end kind of thing. So now for this, step counts, frequency 0, total step 0. For this one time this particular statement, how many times? Row plus 1, row plus 1. We already given this particular example. Inside this for loop, we have again one loop. One executed. How many times it is going to be executed? Rows into number of columns plus 1. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And in total will be rows into columns plus 1. And this again we have one statement, that is frequency is 1, statement unit cost, let us assume that is 1. You can also assume at C1, C2 and C3. That's also fine. If you are going to execute, take it as 1, that is also fine. But in general case, we usually take it as C1, C2 and C3. Let us assume that the total cost in for this particular statement is C1, this is for C2 and this is for C3. Then this particular will become rho plus 1 into this particular C1. It will not hamper the results because all these are the constants. Okay. So now, so total cost will be this one. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is the example of a loop inside a loop. So a loop inside the loop is generally what we called as, for example, this is for loop, and again inside this we have again one for loop. This will be n, this will be m, this is n cross m in general, right? Okay, beta.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, now coming to the formal definitions. Now gradually we are moving toward the formal definitions. अभी तक हमने formal definition की बात नहीं करी है. Algorithms को अभी जनरल तरीके से हम we are just discussing it, but we have not discussed about the actual formulation, actual formal definition. So now, so this example is saying, okay, let us assume that you went to a particular showroom, although this is not a showroom, this is a hut. Okay. So here you want to buy a particular car. Okay. You just want to buy a particular car and you want to buy a particular bicycle. Okay. How to draw the bicycle? Like this. Okay. So whenever your friend asks you, okay, what are you doing in this particular hut? So what you will say? You just want to buy the both the things, car and bicycle. But what you will say? You just here to buy a car or buy a cycle, a bicycle or a car.
कार
Why car? Why not saying that I am
नेग्लिजिबल
here?
है सर,
हाँ
नेग्लिजिबल है सर, बाइसिकल क्या के मतलब बाइसिकल नेग्लिजिबल है कार के कॉस्ट सर।
हाँ सर, बाइसिकल खरीदने आए, एक तो सोशल स्टेटस से भी नहीं लगता. अगर मुझे जो है कोई बड़ी चीज खरीदनी है, मैं छोटी चीज नहीं बताता इन जनरल. एंड सेकंड केस, मैथमेटिकली इफ यू विल सी इट, देन द कॉस्ट ऑफ द बाइसिकल इज अ वेरी नेग्लिजिबल एज कंपेयर टू द कॉस्ट ऑफ कार. So we generally say, okay, see, although I have to buy the both things, but generally what I will say, I am here to buy a car. So this is the overall story of this particular rate of growth. This is the only meaning. यही मीनिंग है रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ का भी. जब आपको रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ में बात करनी है, तो जो लोअर टर्म्स है, यू विल ऑलवेज नेग्लेक्ट दोज लोअर टर्म्स व्हेन योर कॉस्ट इज इंक्रीजिंग, व्हेन योर स्पेंडिंग इज बीइंग इंक्रीज्ड. तो जो लोअर छोटे छोटे खर्चे ना, आप उनको कभी गिनते नहीं हो. जैसे आपने कोई घर में कुछ बड़ी चीज लेके आए, क्या बोलोगे? छोटी छोटी, अब ये कैलकुलेट करोगे, पार्ले जी का बिस्किट भी लेके आया आज मैं, और आज आपने जो है 5 लाख रुपए पार्टी पे खर्च कर दिए, और आप कैलकुलेशन कर रहे हो कि नहीं, मैं पार्ले जी का बिस्किट भी लेके आया हूँ 4 रुपए का. ये कैलकुलेशन करते हो क्या? ये नहीं करते. सो वेन एवर वी हैव द बिग थिंग्स, स्मॉल थिंग्स की बात नहीं करते हैं वहां पे. सो इन द सेम मैनर, सो इन दिस एग्जाम्पल what we are doing, so total cost is in fact the cost of the car as well as the cost of the bicycle, but in general, because the cost of the bicycle is negligible as compared to the cost of car, so we generally say that, okay, I am here to buy a particular car. So this is what we call approximating. Approximating meaning this particular bicycle cost is being included inside this particular car. Okay, are you getting the idea? Yes. So now take the example. So let us suppose we have an algorithm, and this particular algorithm, somehow you have done your mathematical analysis, and you found that the total time taken by that particular algorithm is n square plus 2n square plus 100n plus 500. So can we say that this particular algorithm is actually consuming the cost of n raised to power 4? Yes or no?
yes, sir.
Why? Because when I'm not talking about the lower values, I am talking about when n is increasing, then all these terms 2n square, 100n and 500 will be negligible as compared to the n4. So let's try to see why they are negligible, although mathematically it is very easy. Now see this. Okay, maybe I have not shown it, but maybe in the later example. Okay, anyways, so let's come to this example. Yeah, here see this. Whenever this particular n is increasing from 10 to 100 to 1000 to 10,000, then observe these values of fn. They are increasing like this. Okay, so this particular factor, when n value is 10, this particular factor n square is contributing only 7% of the result. Yes or no? This particular 80n is contributing very large, that is 57% of the total, that is 1400, and this particular 500 is a constant, so approximately 36% contribution is from this particular constant value. Yes or no? Yes, beta.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
now,
sir.
now try to increase these values. Now increasing from 10 to 100, what we are observing, now the contribution of this particular n square is 54%. That is this particular 10,000. For 80 and for this contribution of this term is 43. Now it is reducing. It is reducing. Later on, when we increase it to 1,000, then the contribution of this is very, very large, 93%. It is now small, 7% only, and it is approximately 0%. And when it is increased to 10,000, now see the total contribution, see this particular value. This is the total outcome of this particular 10,000 value, and out of this value is 99%. So n square is contributing approximately 99% here. So what is your observation? Your observation is says, sir, at larger value we can approximate it equal to n square. Yes or no? Because smaller terms hardly affect the results, hardly affect the outcome of f of n. Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what we call as the rate of growth. किस गति से आपका जो है ग्रोथ हो रहा है with time. This is what we call the rate of growth. With the rate of growth, then we can neglect the lower terms. So when n is small, which function is bigger? When n is big, which is bigger function? Where we can say that gn, so these are two functions fn and this is gn. We can say that gn grows faster than fn when n is increasing and increasing. Okay, beta. So now
Yes.
coming to now commonly used rate of growth. So this is what we call the rate of growth. Given two functions fn and gn, can you compare the rate of growth? Yes, we can compare the rate of growth. And whenever we are going to compare the rate of growth, can we choose one function out of these two functions and say that, okay, see, gn or fn is growing faster than fn or gn? We can conclude it. Okay. So generally, these are the commonly used rate of growth functions that we generally use in our algorithms. Whatever algorithms we are going to study, generally all these algorithms fall under these categories, mostly these categories. 99% of algorithms fall under these categories. These are rate of growth of these functions. So when the rate of growth is constant, then we call such kind of algorithms as the constant time algorithms. This is our desirable, this is our aim to achieve this, but not for all problem this is achievable. Then we have log n, that is logarithmic time algorithm. Then we have linear, that is this particular algorithm A had time complexity, linear time complexity n. This algorithm is having linear logarithmic time complexity, quadratic time complexity, cubic time complexity, exponential time complexity. So what is your desire? What is your requirement? What should be your aim? Your aim should be to go towards the constant time algorithm rather than going toward the exponential. Yes, are you following this thing? Because the rate of growth is very high in case of this particular exponential when n is increasing. And you have seen this in problem of Tower of Hanoi. So some of the examples you can see that what I kind of constant algorithm, adding an element in front of the linked list. Linked list programs you have done? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So given a particular linked list, I am just saying you, can you please insert one node at the front? Yes sir, I can create it, I can do it. How much time it will take? Sir, we just need to create a structure and we just need to manipulate these particular head pointers and we have to just insert it here. It will not take much time. We can solve it in fractions of second. It is not dependent on the input size. Constant time algorithm, it means that you are talking about the constant time algorithm. Finding an element in a sorted array. Sir, given a particular sorted array, sir, this is an array, this is sorted 1, 2, 3, 4. I just want to find some kind of element into this particular sorted array. Sir, how can I find it? 1 2 3 4 5. For this we have the log n complexity. Why? We will see it. We will have the expressions how we are going to drive the log n complexity. But as of now, you'll observe that, okay sir, I just want to find the 2 is present in this or not in a sorted array. What I will do? So let's find the middle point. Okay, this is the middle point. So where is 2? 2 is present in this side or this side? This side, beta.
Left side.
Left side. So do you need to search toward the right side? Are you going to search toward the right side? No.
No, sir.
It means that if you know the middle point, you do not need to search to this half. You just need to search only into this half. Still, if 2 is not present here, then again we are going to compare standing at this particular point. We are going to compare. Then if we either we are going to go toward the left side searching, or either we are going to go toward the right hand side searching. So such kind of behavior, what you are doing actually, given a particular space, you are dividing it to the halves, half and then half. So what is this division? Does it not look like log n? We are dividing it into half.
Yes, sir.
So this is what we call the log functions. What is a log function? We are dividing it, each time we are dividing into the half, and then we are going to search. So such type of algorithm generally have log n complexities. For example, in sorted arrays, we'll take advantage of this. Linear search, unsorted array. Sir, we have an array. This one,
सर ये
3.
बताना सर एक बार, लोकल टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी कोई सर आप में डिवाइड कर रहे हैं?
बेटा ऐसे करते हैं ना, जैसे आप बुक सर्चिंग करते हो, आपको बुक को सर्च करना है, कोई टॉपिक आपने बुक में सर्च करना है, तो बुक में तो सारे पेजेस सीक्वेंशियल ऑर्डर में लगे होते हैं. तो आप क्या करते हो, ये बुक है आपकी, आप इसको जो है रैंडमली बीच में से स्प्लिट कर लेते हो, खोल लेते हो कोई टॉपिक, और आप देखते हो कि ये वाला जो लिंक लिस्ट वाला टॉपिक है ना, ये लास्ट वाले जो पेजेस है, यहाँ पे हाफ, नेक्स्ट हाफ जो है बची हुई है बुक, उसमें तो प्रेजेंट नहीं होगा ये टॉपिक. डेफिनेटली ये टॉपिक कहाँ प्रेजेंट होगा? फर्स्ट हाफ में ये प्रेजेंट होगा मेरा टॉपिक. तो आपने एक तरह से क्या किया, या अगर इस बुक के अंदर 100 पेजेस थे, तो ये बाकी 50 पेजेस तो आपने लेफ्ट कर दिए, और यहाँ पे आपने किस में सर्चिंग करनी स्टार्ट कर दिया? अब रेस्ट 50 के अंदर. ऐसे तो करते हो बुक के अंदर, अगर रैंडमली आपको कोई दे दिया गया टॉपिक सर्च करो, अब आप यहाँ पे खड़े हो, आपने रेस्ट 50 में सर्च करना है, तो रेस्ट 50 जो पेजेस है उसका भी आपने हाफ कर लिया कि चलो यहाँ पे सर्च करते हैं, इसमें लगभग आधे पेज खोल लेते हैं. तो आपने यहाँ पे सर्चिंग कर लिया, यहाँ खड़े हो, फिर देखते हो लिंक लिस्ट वाला टॉपिक तो यार इसके अंदर तो नहीं होगा, ये इस वाले हाफ के अंदर है, इधर वाले में, तो आपने फिर ये भी छोड़ दिया, तो ये 25 फिर छोड़ दिए, 25 बच गए इधर. तो एक तरह से आप लोगरिथमिक का बिहेवियर अगर देखते हो, तो लो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज, लोग का एक्चुअल रियल टाइम सिग्निफिकेंस देखो तो लोग क्या करता है, आपकी चीजों को हाफ हाफ में डिवाइड करता जाता है इस तरह से. यस और नो बताओ. आप इधर
Yes,
गए,
sir.
इधर गए, इधर गए, यही तो रियल टाइम सिग्निफिकेंस है इसका, और क्या रियल टाइम सिग्निफिकेंस है. एनीवेज, सो दिस इज वन मीनिंग. जहां पे लिस्ट मेरी सॉर्टेड होती है, मोस्टली वहां पे जो है बाइनरी सर्च वगैरह लगाते हैं. अभी बाइनरी सर्च आपने नहीं पढ़ी है तो कोई बात नहीं, वी विल डिस्कस इट. अभी एल्गोरिथम्स भी बताएंगे बहुत सारे, जहां पे log n प्रूव करेंगे किस तरह से log n आ रही है. बट जनरल आइडिया ले लो कि इस तरह से जो अगर हम सर्चिंग करनी पड़ जाए जहां पे सॉर्टिंग हो, तो जनरली वहां पे log n कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी मेरी निकल के आते हैं, और स्पेसिफिकली बाइनरी सर्च, राइट. अब बाइनरी सर्च वी हैव नॉट डिस्कस्ड. एनीवेज, तो लीनियर सर्च हो गया. इसी तरह से मेरा n log n कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज, वी टॉक्ड अबाउट द लीनियर टर्म्स भी है और log टर्म्स भी है. तो यहाँ पे डिवाइड एंड कंकर टाइप के जो है एल्गोरिथम्स है, जैसे मर्ज शॉर्ट. तो मर्ज शॉर्ट सिलेबस के पार्ट नहीं है, मर्ज शॉर्टिंग वगैरह, बट वी विल ट्राई कि अगर फिनिश हो पाया तो हम यहाँ भी प्रूव कर लेंगे. तो इनकी जब हम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज को प्रूव करेंगे, तो वहां पे देखेंगे हम पूरा का पूरा मैथमेटिकल एनालिसिस वी आर गोइंग टू डू दैट. तो फुल मैथमेटिकल एनालिसिस करके 1.5 पेज का, और फिर यहाँ पे हम इस पर्टिकुलर फॉर्मूले पे पहुंचेंगे कि व्हाई दिस इज n log n. देन क्वाड्रेटिक है, शॉर्टेस्ट रूट बिटवीन द टू नोड्स इन अ ग्राफ. एक ग्राफ दिया हुआ है, उसमें जो है शॉर्टेस्ट रूट निकालना है हमें, तो कौन सा होगा? दैट इज द n स्क्वायर. क्यूबिक. So these are kind of examples only. Just don't go rather than proving it, how to prove it, we will prove it, but this is the kind of algorithm. So what should be your aim? आपका aim क्या होना चाहिए? कहाँ पे जाना चाहिए आपका aim?
Constant.
Constant पे जाना चाहिए, लेकिन mostly constant algorithms we do not have the way to achieve this particular constant logarithms. Otherwise सब constant अगर हो जाएगा तो इतना सब वर्क करने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी और हम जो है अपनी सारी की सारी प्रॉब्लम्स को इजीली जो है swapping of two numbers, adding a node in front of the linked list, इसी तरह की प्रॉब्लम बन के रह जाएगी. बट रियल टाइप ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स आर नॉट सच काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स. सो मोस्टली प्रॉब्लम्स आर नॉट the constant time algorithms, but our aim should always be where going from bottom to up. ये हमारा एम होना चाहिए. If you have some algorithm, that is the way that you have coded that algorithm is going to n square time, but if some other student come to some logic which reduces its complexity from n square to n log n, then it is wonderful. We will accept the student B solution rather than accepting the student A solution. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So just observe this graph, and this is self-explanatory. What does it mean? So our aim should always be from this side to this side to this side to this side. Okay, from up to bottom, this way. We should achieve like this. And yeah, there are ways to achieve this, but not in all algorithms. Okay. So now this is done. Now we have one question. This is, let us assume that we have three algorithms ABC, and the time taken is 7n n log base 10n n square. Compare the rate of growth when the input size is scaled from 100 to 10,000. Please write it down and compare them. Which algorithm you are going to choose? Which algorithms you are going to choose? And both ABC algorithms are producing the same result, meaning same output. They are solving the same problem. Yes?
सर बी की सबसे ज्यादा रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ होगी.
Yes, sir. B 7 log n to the base 10.
So you are choosing it or what? You are rejecting it?
Choosing.
B करेंगे.
B
हाँ?
choose करें.
B choose करोगे.
B करेंगे.
B choose करोगे.
Yes.
Yes sir.
बाकी में तो बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस आ रहा है.
Okay. Okay.
Yes sir.
Yes sir.
Everybody, yes, fine. Shall we move?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
See the difference. Observe the outputs. Same way that we have solved. At input size n equals to 1, hardly making any difference. At 10, see the observations. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, the same thing, we already discussed it. Constant time algorithms, these are the different algorithm time classes. These are the different classes that we can categorize our algorithms. You can say my algorithm is a constant time algorithm, my algorithm is a log functions, logarithmic, log square, linear algorithm, n log n, quadratic, cubic, polynomial, exponential, factorial. Very bad algorithm. Very bad. Very good. So what are the remarks? See the remarks also. These are independent of input size. Fine. Logarithmic algorithms are preferred as their rate of growth is slow. So we will prefer it. Because mostly in the real time situation we do not come to this particular. Very small type of examples is having the constant time algorithms. But mostly, beautiful algorithms which are solving beautiful problems, they have this particular, or meaning they have meaning we just want to have their complexity as log functions, log n. So log n, these are very optimal algorithms. These are again very optimal algorithms. Linear algorithms are preferred. Example, summing of an array, merge sort, then bubble sort and selection sort, linear algorithms, linear quadratic algorithms, matrix multiplication, polynomial algorithms of lesser order k are preferred, constant. So these are some of the examples, and during the DS course we will try to learn these different kind of algorithms. Mostly, many of the algorithms we will try to learn. Otherwise, what algorithms, some of the algorithms are left, we will run in the algorithm in the 5th semester, in the 4th semester, I think. Okay, so this is what. Again, check it.
B is better, sir.
Sir, B is better.
Okay, again check it.
Sir, till one specific point, no, sir. We can't tell at every instant T is better.
Yes, fine.
B is better.
Who said?
Siddharth.
Yes, Siddharth. Siddharth is saying, sir, we should tell a specific point after which it behaves something different. Because before that we do not. Siddharth is saying, see, sir, we have observed that up to some points these algorithms, the algorithm which was behaving very good before was now behaving very bad after n is increasing. So it means that we should talk about after certain point. After certain point this behavior will be judged, not before that particular point. Yes, Siddharth? This is what you are saying?
Yes, sir. After one point they will change.
So he's trying to saying, sir, see this particular A which is behaving, which is a kind of optimal algorithm, which is a kind of outperforming algorithm when for some values of n. So let me draw it like this. These are some of values of the n. So maybe for x1 values, this particular algorithm A and this particular algorithm B. So it is outperforming than B. For x2, it is again outperforming than B. But suddenly what happens, sir, when it reaches to point x3, it behaving down and it's behaving outperforming. And after this particular x3, whatever the value, whatever the point we will take, it is still underperforming, and it is outperforming, underperforming. Yes or no? This is what you are trying to say.
Yes, sir.
So it means that we should say, sir, what is that particular point after which this particular behavior actually changes? And whenever we are saying that, okay, for n greater than 0, or for n approaching to a infinity, meaning n approaching to a larger values. So this larger value is after certain point, not before that. So we must take care about that particular optimal, where that particular turning point. So what is that turning point? We should see the starting point of the problem, that is instant where Ta equals to Tb. Up to this point, for n value equals to 60 minus 20, this is behavior is almost same, but after this particular 60 point, after this, we are not interested in minus values, we are interested in the positive values only. So ignoring this minus 20, when n equals to both algorithms are approximately equal, So after n greater than 60, you should compare algorithms. Algorithm A is growing faster as compared to algorithm B. Are you following this point?
Yes, sir.
So this is one point that you should take care, and this is the beginning of this particular rate of growth functions. Another notation for rate of growth is a notion of tractable and intractable problem. We already discussed it. Intractable or exponential rate growth. Can you fill the entire chessboard if you assume that you first put one grain in the first square, second grain, second, third, fourth in third? Can you fill it? Can you fill it or not? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Why?
So because it will increase, the amount will increase. It won't be enough to fill half of the board.
So see the solution. Yes, you are saying, sir, we need so much grain that in fact India does not produce such bigger amount of grains. Intractable problems. So first grain to be put in the first square. First grain. Second in the second grain. Then fourth in the third. 4. Then eighth in the fourth. Yes or no? Yes or no, beta? For the chessboard 64 squares.
Yes, sir.
So how much grain it is? This much bigger grain, meaning this amount of grains you need. So it means such kind of problem which seems to be a very naive kind of problem. Okay, we will put it, we don't afraid. This is a small child play. We can do it. Even your computer system cannot solve this kind of problem. If you will try to do your problems in a computer system, they will hang. They will नहीं कर पाएंगे, solve नहीं कर पाएंगे इस type के problems को. So such type of problems is what we call intractable problem. So our interest is do a kind of mathematical analysis first. पहले मैथ्स करो, then प्रोग्राम करो. ऐसा नहीं है कि बैठ गए और हैश इंक्लूड लिखना स्टार्ट किया एंड सर चलो काम करते और अपना प्रोग्राम बना के ले आते और लो हो गया सर प्रोग्राम. नो. Are you getting the idea? Yes. Why people are doing the PhDs? Why they are stuck? Why they are doing the research? If they can solve this particular problem in a finite amount of time, it means that such kind of problem is solvable. Then millions of other kind of problems which seems to be intractable as of now, they will be solvable then. Are you getting the idea?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
अगर आप एक किसी इस चीज को भी सोल्व कर पा रहे हो इसका मतलब तो आपने जो कैटेगराइजेशन करी है बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स की जो आप जिसको इंट्रैक्टेबल बोल रहे थे इसका मतलब तो वो सोलेबल प्रॉब्लम थी, वो आपकी थ्योरी गलत हो जाएगी सारी. तो अब क्योंकि हम अपनी थ्योरी को गलत नहीं बताएंगे तो लोगों के पास अभी तक इन प्रॉब्लम्स का सॉल्यूशन नहीं है. कोई एल्गोरिथम. हाँ, तो क्योंकि मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि लोगों ने क्लासिफाई कर दिया है अलग अलग.
Breaking.
Now it is fine. It is fine now. It is okay. So because people, okay, because now people have categorized the problems. People have categorized the problems into the solvable problem, and they have categorized into the intractable problem. They have categorized into the different kind of n problems. They have categorized into the kind of p problem, polynomial type of problems, exponential type of problems. If some problems which fall under the category of intractable problems, and if you produce the solution which does not exist till now, and if you can solve this particular intractable problems, it means that by mistakenly you have put that particular problem in intractable, and you know that most of the problems which are the real type of problems, they fall under the category of this intractable problems. And if any one of those that particular problem you can solve, it means that most of the problems will become solvable. So from this particular set they will come to this particular set, which is not possible till now. So that's why this particular complexity analysis is very much point of interest on, kind of research area. So rather than doing for the programming, you should go for this particular complexity analysis first. Okay. Okay beta. Yes.
अगर हमें चॉइस हो कि हमें टाइम बचा पाएंगे या नहीं, तो हम क्या प्रेफर करेंगे?
हाँ,
मतलब इस प्रॉब्लम के लिए हम टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी माइज कर सकते हैं या मैं कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी?
बेटा आपकी आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रही, रिपीट करो दोबारा से, क्या बोल रहे हो?
ऑडिबल सर?
हाँ अब बोलो जरा।
सर मैं उधर हम प्रॉब्लम है उसमें हम टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी कर सकते हैं या मेमोरी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी?
हम मेन प्रॉब्लम है उसमें टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी की बात कर सकते हैं कि मेमोरीज की।
हाँ तो अगर हमें चुना है एक चीज तो हम किसे चूज करेंगे? कैन ऑप्टिमाइज ओनली।
देखो मुझे जहां तक समझ में आ रहा है, आपकी आवाज कट कट के आ रही है, तो आप ये पूछना चाह रहे हो कि सर हम जो है टाइम पे जाए कि स्पेस पे जाए, ये पूछ रहे हो?
ये मतलब इन शॉर्ट।
हाँ ठीक है, दैट डिपेंड्स बेटा। लेकिन देखो पहले क्या था, हिस्ट्री में क्या था, पहले अगर बैकग्राउंड में जाओगे तो हमारे पास जो है स्पेस की बहुत कमी थी। पहले अगर आपने देखा हुआ हिस्ट्री, कंप्यूटर हिस्ट्री में पढ़ोगे तो हार्ड डिस्क भी जो है उसका साइज जो हुआ करता था वो पूरी की पूरी बस के बराबर हुआ करता, इतनी बड़ी बड़ी हार्ड डिस्क हुआ करती थी। तो हमारे पास क्या था, स्पेस का कांस्टेंट था। यस, स्पेस लिमिटेड था हमारे पास। तो जब हमारे पास स्पेस लिमिटेड था तो हमने कहना स्टार्ट कर दिया, नहीं आपका जो एल्गोरिथम ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि कंप्यूटर सिस्टम में रन करना स्टार्ट करे और पूरा का पूरा स्पेस लेके बैठ गया है। पहले ही हमारे पास स्पेस नहीं है और आपको एक प्रॉब्लम ने जो है सारा का सारा स्पेस कंज्यूम कर लिया है। तो बात दो तरह से आ गई हमारी, हम टाइम की बात करें कि स्पेस की बात करें, तो दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन योर प्रॉब्लम। कहीं कहीं किसी प्रॉब्लम में आपको लगता है कि नहीं, स्पेस इज नॉट अ बिग कंसर्न फॉर मी इन 2020 में स्पेस मेरे बड़ा कंसर्न नहीं है। मैं एक 500 रुपए देके 1000 रुपीज देके जो है 1 टेराबाइट की जो है अपनी हार्ड डिस्क खरीद लेता हूं, ये बड़ा रिस्क नहीं है सर मेरे लिए। मेरे लिए टाइम इंपॉर्टेंट है। सो योर एल्गोरिथम शुड सोल्व अ पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम इन लिमिटेड टाइम। बट if yes there is some concern, maybe that program is something like that, आपको जो अभी 5001 टेराबाइट की जो हार्ड डिस्क लग रही है वो उससे भी ज्यादा कहीं 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 बहुत ज्यादा, जैसे अमेजन की अगर हम बात करें या क्लाउड्स की बात करें तो वहां पर डेटा जो है मिलियन, हमारा जो थाउजेंड्स और मिलियंस ऑफ कंपनीज का जो है डेटा रखा है, तो उनका क्लाउड सर्वर जो है कितना स्पेस वहां पे कितनी ज्यादा रिक्वायरमेंट होगी, वहां पे ह्यूज रिक्वायरमेंट होगी वहां पे। तो उनके लिए जो है दोनों की रिक्वायरमेंट है, स्पेस की भी रिक्वायरमेंट है और वहां पे जो एल्गोरिथम्स रन कर रहे हैं वहां पे टाइम की भी रिक्वायरमेंट है। तो दैट डिपेंड्स अपॉन योर जो रिक्वायरमेंट। बट यस वी शुड ऑलवेज गो विद लेसर स्पेस एंड लेसर टाइम।
ओके सर।
सर प्लीज ये स्लाइड शेयर कर देना।